Alright everybody, welcome back to another edition of Let's Watch Some Film. And here we have Toona versus Sequoyah. Both teams we're going to play. Sequoyah we're facing on Thursday. So I'm just going to show you kind of, what not to do on defense, even though I don't know how Pete did not call this a foul. But she gets the ball here, the Sequoyah player. She's going to throw the ball. She's going to start running towards there. And when we go to double, if you notice right there, we're coming in with the stick inside. This is a sure way of getting a foul called against you. Because again, what is going to happen? She is absolutely going to collide her stick with the defender's stick right there and is going to cause a foul. Now, for whatever reason, you can clearly see that they connect. It looks like she makes that check, which again, I don't even think that was a legal check either. She is kind of going over the head, so we can zoom in a little bit here, the player in the back. But again, the fact that actually the check was not too bad. It was pretty legal. And she ends up dropping the ball. Toona picks it up. Again, but the main point that I wanted to point out is not so much the check. It's more of she got lucky that she didn't get that call, number 14 right there. That could have very well have gotten called. And again, why does she stop? You see, that's the thing too. She comes in and she stops. You need to absolutely get in there and get to that point, causing her to move around. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you guys. All right, now let's watch this transition here from Toona as they get the ball and move backwards. Sequoyah does tries to do a decent job of marking up the players. As you can see here, number one is trying to mark up. She just gets beat. And at this point, what is Sequoyah doing? Sequoyah is trying to shift over here. You can see that number 8 is trying to go to her, also getting beat. But because we're not marking up players, or Sequoyah is not marking up players, she's able to get the pass. Now, as you notice, you're going to see number 7 also not marking up anybody here, and allows, she's trying to say, I'm going to go for this ball now. We're still watching ball. Look at this girl. She's still watching the ball over here instead of looking downfield and saying, hey, who do I need to pick up? So this is what I like to call, we're just running while watching the game. So she's running. She's not engaging the player. She's literally just running down the line here. There's no threat to this player here. Number 7 thinks she's like, well, I have somebody. But in reality, you don't have anybody. You got 2 open players on the backside. 3, really, if you think about it. This player has 3 open options that she can pass to. So she makes it to the pass there. She fumbles the ball a little bit. Sequoyah picks it back up, gets it knocked down. And then it's a whole bunch of mess until they decide to settle that. Now, from what I can see here, Sequoyah does play a man defense, which is fine for us. And what Toona is going to want to do is they're going to want to try to give, move the ball around a little bit. I think they're passing the ball around here. And you're going to see why I say man. She's following her all the way through. Nobody's picking her up. She's staying there. And again, if we force those shots, I'm very confident this guy can make that save. Okay, now looking here, let's look at Toona's ride. Again, not much of a ride there, but again, running way too much of the ball. She does do a good job of dropping and passing the ball. And here's the point I wanted to make for you guys. If we allow that to happen, let's say we put a little bit of pressure on the girl on Sequoyah on Thursday, and she's like, okay, I'm going to drop step, which is correct. She's doing the right thing. If we leave these players open in the midfield, they're just going to pass. And now look what happens. She's able to make multiple passes here. There's one. She, again, drops steps away from pressure, doing the right thing. Finds another open player, 2. That one's, a little bit in there. But again, and she goes right in and takes the shot. Now, let's just rewind that just a little bit. She gets this ball here. Number 24 from Sequoyah. She's running in. Nobody really from Toona is challenging her, coming out the wrong way. She's actually coming in the right way because she's not going to the girl. She's coming in the front. But again, hips are turned. And at this point there, we're really, I'm not really sure what's going on there. She's just whacking the ball. Bad shot. Goes in. Sequoyah gets the ball back. So, honestly, not too impressed with the Sequoyah defense here. Toona defense. So again, what is Toona going to do? Toona looks like they also have a man defense going up. All right, and this is the other one I wanted to show you guys real quick. And that is just a very easy give and go. Okay, so you got player up top right over here. She decides, okay, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go to this person. Almost looks like they have a backer situation, but I really don't think they are. I think she just reads this slide. And here was the problem. She is on the opposite side of the player, meaning that this Sequoyah player is on the right side of the screen. The Alatoona player is there. If we maintain that, then the slide correctly should come from here to slide in to double the ball right in here. Given that the person down low is going to have 2 cutters to tend with. That's okay with this kind of defense. Now, what ends up happening here is a mistake because she sees this and she's like, well, I'm going to get there. So she creates from Alatoona this 3v1 situation, which now allows this player to go with the flash cut that we talked about. She comes in, she's looking right in there. And I can't quite tell if the ball gets deflected. I think it did get deflected or she missed it, but we're going to say it got deflected. Good job there on the... All right, now here's a mistake that we do quite a bit when we're trying to pick up a ground ball. Look at number 8 here. Here goes the ball. She should just run through the ball. She should run through it. But what does she decide to do? She decides, no, I can't run through the ball. I'm going to actually stop the ball and do a nice scoop. She messes up, which ends up now having a lot of Alatoona girls and ends up losing the ball. Had she just ran through the ball, again, you're already in the midfield. All you got to do, why is she standing here? You know, she should go and try to box her out of some way or go out into space if we really do want to flick the ball. But there's no reason for number 8 here. Completely running, not a 50-50 ball. It is 100% her. She's running, and that's just lack of confidence. I'm like, I cannot grab that ball. I need to make it easier for me instead of running through the ball. I should not see any of you guys doing something like that. Okay, and in this transition where she just picked up the ground ball that I was showing you guys, she's now running. Sequoyah is doing a good job of holding the line as she's supposed to do. She's not trying to come in front of her. But what ends up happening here is this person decides, okay, I'm going to go for the double. But when she goes for the double, this person just completely backs up. This is where, even if you are an attack player, which doesn't look like she is because she's way in there, look what happens. She puts on the brake. And number 7 basically collides into the other Sequoyah player right over here. And now they're both not guarding anybody. There's a complete open player. Good slide going in here. Number 19 should slide down to pick up this player over there. And it's a bad pass. But again, the point I want to make is this double team here. When we go for that double, this is the drill that we've been working on a couple times now at practice. Right? We're coming down here. She needs to be watching her defender and at the last moment jump out in front of the Alatoona, making that right angle right here. You know, that's what we really want to do. Make that right angle there and not getting in front here. Here they're stacked. That's what we talk about. That's how you beat a double team. She purposely stopped her early. She should have come all the way to the front here. That would have been a much better double team and prevented that from happening. And again, here from this pass, you're going to see the hesitation on the ground ball. If we don't run through the ground ball, look what happens. She picks it up. She wants to pick it up easy. Just run through it. Run through it. 16 does try to run through it. Now they're kind of doubling a little bit. What looks like if we put good pressure on Alatoona, we're going to force them to make a few mistakes. Same thing with Sequoyah. So you can see here Sequoyah is out, but they're playing man, and we're going to talk about that practice tomorrow. How to beat this man defense. And the best way to do that is just simply by, sinking the ship on one side and working on what we call weave cuts. Okay, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do that on Monday, or excuse me, not Monday, but tomorrow, Tuesday at practice. Again, nothing there. Popping the ball. They've got speed and they're aggressive. But again, nothing that we can't stop if we're also aggressive in defense and we play correctly. Definitely see some hesitation there from trying to take that shot. Granted, she didn't have a great angle. Now it looks like Alatoona is doing the same thing that we teach you guys not to do. That was a mess up there. See, they're trying to drive, and as long as we double them, they're not going to be able to make anything happen. Now, what Alatoona is not really doing is they're not having that quick swinging of the ball. They're going in, they're going out. It's almost like, guys, it's almost like they're doing stuff that we used to do, but we're no longer doing. And here you're going to see Toona finally able to get a shot off. She's got 3 on. I mean, this player's wide open, but she decides to go in for it anyways. And this, again, is a problem. She's not going in because she's got leading with her stick. She's going to foul her. We have just absolutely have got to go in with our bodies, not do that. See how she's swinging right there? She's swinging that stick. I mean, any ref would see that, especially Pete over here, and would see that, hey, you're going into the sphere. I think that, look, he does exactly that. He blows the whistle. He sees that, and I'm pretty sure that's what he called on. Let's see if I'm right. That he tells her to go back. Yep, I was right. Tells her to go back and to get a free position shot. So don't do that. We absolutely don't want to do that unless this is going to be their 3rd free position shot. Like I said, I haven't watched this video fully through. I've watched bits and pieces of it. She kind of goes behind, not there. They stop it. Let's look at this transition back to the other side. Again, it seems like these teams really don't know how to double very well. They put 2 girls on, but they're not actually doubling the ball. And then we force a bad pass. Now it's going to go back to Sequoyah. Or, excuse me, back to Toona. Yeah, that's why we don't do Hail Mary passes. And push. Again, and I'll show you guys that push real quick here. So it's just that right there. That's what the ref's gonna see. If we're gonna extend the hands, look, and you can see it right there. Her hands are down, and she initiates the contact. If the defense initiates the contact, you're going to get a foul called. You girls have got to start playing correctly, and you'll realize that you're not going to be getting any fouls called your way. The refs know what they're doing. You know, they're trained. They're not terrible. They might make a bad call or miss a call here and there, but for the most part, they are actually calling things correctly. These are the rules of the sport, whether you like them or not. You know, you can't initiate contact as a defensive player. All right, just to wrap up the 15 minutes here of this video, we're just going to watch and see what's happening here. Let's take a look at that shot again. See how she ended up doing that. We've got ball up top. All right, ball goes up top. We've got a cutter that's going in. 2 cutters going in. She just gets to open there. And honestly, that is, holy moly, that's a dangerous propel for sure. The refs did not call that. They should have, because that almost took the girl's head off. Let's fast forward a little bit here. She's bringing back the ball. See what Sequoyah does. Yeah, so what they've done this a couple times later on in the video too. They try to do these 2 cuts to create this big open space here. Now again, this is where our zone defense is going to be incredibly important, especially with our rover in there. If we cannot be turned in this way again, we'll clean this up a little bit. But when we check in, remember, we are always facing the outside. We're not turning our hips with the cutters. We're shuffling with the cutters, because otherwise we get caught in this situation. She does a decent job of seeing that, trying to come back. And then you get that backdoor cut. Why? Because we left the most important piece open right there. Okay? And again, you're probably thinking, well, why did that happen? Well, again, if she just waited here in her spot, and if with the rover, we should be able to pick that up and not be forced so much out of our area, if that makes sense. Because right now, she is way out of area. Remember, she would be the elbow one for us. Okay? And so the elbow one would be flashing in here. The rover also picking up with the person there. This person can stay down in the corner. Otherwise, this is exactly what happens. We lock into the ball. She's there. She realizes, hey, I'm wide open below. She goes in, grabs the ball, takes the shot, puts it in the net.